I've already sent you all the chapter videos which I have recorded for the other classes, and you can go through all those videos and and then for each and every chapter you have separate videos there, so which you can use it. Today let's discuss about the arithmetic operators, how arithmetic operators will be used on the number data type columns. So you have few arithmetic operators, that is plus, minus, and you have plus, minus, and you have multiplication operator, that is star, and the division operator, that is forward slash. You can use all these arithmetic operators which will be used to which can be used on the number columns, which can be used only on the number columns. You cannot perform arithmetic operations on the character column, something like first name, last name, all those things. You can't perform it because I can't add first name and last name. I can't add 100 to the first name, which is not possible. So how to use it? So in the other class we discussed about how to write a basic select statement, and we are using it. So now I'm incrementing the salary by 500 for a employee. So I'm selecting select last name, comma salary, comma I'm incrementing the salary by 500. That means salary plus 500 from employees. So when I execute this query, so select it, use control enter. When you do this, this will increment the salary by 500. See, the king's salary is 24,000 and it is being incremented by 24,500, and Kocher's salary is 17,000 and it is being incremented by 17,500. Austin's salary is 4,800 and it is incremented by 5,300. Let's say similarly I want to calculate the annual salary. There is a salary column which is there in employees table, which represents the salary column, which represents the monthly salary. I want to calculate the annual salary. So how you are going to calculate? Select last name, comma salary, comma 12 into salary, into from employees. So what is the table name? From employees. So enclose this, execute it. Now this will execute the incremented salary. Incremented salary will be executed. So 28,800, 2,88,000, 2,04,000, 2,04,000, something like that. So now I have a query here. I want to increment the salary first by 500, then the multiply. I want to increment the salary, at the same time I want to calculate the annual salary. So where I can write something like this. So 12 into salary plus 500. So you might have heard about the operator precedence. So something called as a BODMAS rule. So first bracket will get executed, then the multiplication, afterwards the division, addition, and the subtraction in the SQL. So first I want to increment the salary by 500 and then multiply by 12. But how will it happen? Because the multiplication get executed first, this will happen first and then it will increment the salary by 500. So whenever you want to override the precedence, then you can enclose that in the brackets. That means first bracket will get evaluated. That means it will increment see what is the value that is being written here. It has first incremented it is multiplied the salary by 2,12,000 and then added 5,000 to the annual salary. But I want to add 500 to the monthly salary. So whenever you want to override the precedence of the operator, then you can enclose that in the parenthesis. And then use that. So 12 into salary plus 500. This will give you the annual salary of a particular employee. So after annual salary, after incrementing the salary by 500, this will be displayed. So operator precedence. So you need to understand first the multiplication, bracket of multiplication, division, addition, and the subtraction. This is how the arithmetic operators will be evaluated based on the precedence, based on the precedence. So if you see, whenever I am executing a query here, so it is displaying the entire calculation here in the header. I want to provide an alias. I want to provide an alias. So what is an alias? So whenever you can provide a different value, you can provide a different value for a column. So if you see, the last name is being displayed as last underscore name, salary is displayed as salary, and 12 into salary plus 500. This is the complete complex, expression is being displayed. I want to provide a separate value to this. So how? So you can provide an alias for a column with the help of as keyword, or by providing a space after the column, as keyword, or by providing the space after the column, by providing the space after the column, then you can use it. So how to provide an alias? So you can provide an alias for a column. So I want to display in the header, instead of last underscore name, I want to display as a last name, no underscore. And similarly, I want to display, so you can use a as keyword to provide an alias for a particular column, as last name. And similarly, you can also use salary as sal, and I want to provide an alias for this, 12 into salary plus 500. I want to provide an alias as incremented salary, incremented salary from employees, So when you do this, so this will give you the header information as, so if you see the header, you can provide an alias for it. Now it is displaying entire this calculation as incremented salary. Earlier, when you have not provided an alias, this is displayed as 12 into this. So alias can be provided by using a as keyword or just by providing a space. I don't have a as keyword here after the column, but I've just provided the space. So you can also give the space after the column. So you can also provide the space, alias in the other form. How to do that? Without a as keyword also you can provide, just by providing a space after the column. This is also the way of providing an alias for a column. Alias can be provided for a column, table, everything. So if you see, the header information is being displayed differently. Last name, salary, and the incremented salary. So but there is one thing that you have to remember. Suppose, let's say, in my alias word I have a space. Then whenever you have a space in the alias word, then you are going to use, you need to enclose that in the double quotes. If you have a space in the alias word, you can make a note of this. When you have a space in the alias word, you need to enclose in the double quotes. Then whatever that you are enclosing in the double quotes, that is a case sensitive. Double quotes, that is a case sensitive. So you can now, if you see, it will display the header as incremented salary, but you have a space in between. So whenever you have a space, then you need to enclose that in the double quotes. So that is how you provide an alias. For a particular column or particular expression. Instead of displaying entire expression in the header, you can provide a small name for a particular column. So that is how you provide an alias for a particular column, right? So the next thing is to understand about the null value. What is null value?
Karthik, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You said incremental salary. Then you already have the calculation there, 12 times each month, just increase 500, right? Or you just say incremental salary, that's just for title, right? Just for column title. Okay, I got it then. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So next thing is about the null value. What is null value means in Oracle? This is very, very important in terms of SQL about the handling of null values, how you are going to do. You can make null value is not a blank space. Null is not a blank space. You cannot consider a null as a blank space. and null is unavailable value. So whenever you are inserting the data, if you're not providing any date, if you're not providing any value in a column, if you're not providing any value in a column, then that is called as unavailable, unavailable, unavailable or unassigned. Null value means if you're not providing any column, any value while inserting the data. So we've already seen in the first few classes, null means you're not providing any data, then that is null is not a blank space. Null is unavailable and unassigned. So let's see how the null value will be appearing. Null value will appear in the column. So you have so many columns here in the employees table. You have commission percentage column. Commission percentage column will tell you like how much an employee is receiving the commission, how much employee is receiving the commission. So the commission percentage column. Let's verify how the null value will be displayed when you query the column. So select last underscore name salary. I'm selecting last name salary and commission percentage. Commission percentage from which table? From employees table. From employees table. So if you see this, so execute this, then you can understand what is a null value. So don't just confuse that if it is being displayed as a null value, that means that you have a character called as a null or you have a word called as a null here. Null means nothing. You don't have anything in that column, then that is called as a null value. So if you're not providing any value for a particular column while inserting, that will be treated as a null value. But you have the data present for other employees, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, something like that, 0.25, all these things. So all these.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
so
go ahead.
I don't want to show that now in the report. Can you just want them disappear? I know that's non-value, but then I don't want to show that words in the reporting. Do you?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can write something like a where clause here. Still, where is not. We have not gone through the where clause, how to write a where clause. If you don't want to retrieve the null value in the query, so then you can write where commission percentage is null. You don't want to show it. Then you can write is not null. You don't want to show means is not null. If you want to show only the null values, then you can write is null. So now see, it has not displayed any null value. It is displayed only the.
I know, but I want to show, but I don't want to show the null.
Oh, it's something like that. It is, see, don't just confused. As I said, like this is something that which is being just for your information. It is displayed over here to just to tell you that there is no information. So if you edit it, if you edit 24,000, you have 24,000 here. Try to edit this column. I don't have anything.
What do you do? You just click?
Yeah, double click. I'm just.
I know, but when you show the report, do they show null there or they show blank?
It is a blank.
I want to show the people. Yeah. There's a blank, but in the report, when you print out the report, what do they show?
Yes, yes. In the report, when you are doing it, maybe using a business objects or some case, it won't display it as a null. It just displays as a blank. So let me just execute the same query from here so that it will be easier for you to correlate. So HR, I'm logging into the HR ORCL. I'll execute the same thing here. So I'll write it as employees. So then, okay, it's taking time. So let me just. Okay, let me just log into the SQL Plus. And execute this query. This way, it doesn't show it. If you are querying it from the other tools like valid username password. I'm not sure. Okay, so let me just log in as SysDBA and then unlock that account. Okay, so for some reason I'm not able to log in my SQL Plus. So as I said, like when you actually query it from the other tools like business objects or something, it won't display this value as a null to the user. It will just display it as a blank.
Okay.
Okay, so I can show you maybe in the later classes. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you.
Yeah,
For some
that's okay.
reason I'm
Yeah.
not able to log in. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll discuss about it. So whenever you're handling a null values, null cannot be used with any of the arithmetic operators. Null, so you can make a note of this. Null cannot be used with any of the arithmetic operators. It works only with a concatenation operator. Let's say you're doing something like this: null plus some 1000, so it will be evaluated to null. You're doing something 10,000 minus null, this will be evaluated to null. If you're multiplying something with a null, it will be evaluated to null. So whatever the operation that you do on a null, it will be evaluated to null. You can't even compare with the null also. You can't compare the null value saying null equal to null. This is also should not be used. Null equal to null also cannot be used like this. So whenever you're performing any arithmetic operators on the null value, then it will be evaluated to null. So let's try to add salary and the commission, or let's try to calculate the monthly commission for a particular employee. So how to calculate the monthly commission? It will be salary into commission percentage. So let me just query it, select last underscore name salary, and I'm calculating the monthly commission salary into commission percentage. So I'm aliasing this as a monthly commission. So when you query this from employees, so when you query this, this is evaluated to null. I'm actually concatenating, I'm multiplying the salary and commission, it is evaluated to null. Similarly, if you are adding anything to the null value, something like, let's say I'm adding both salary plus commission percentage, so this will be also evaluated to null. That's what I'm trying to say here is that, so this I'll alias it as salary plus commission in the alias. So what I'm trying to say here is, whenever you're trying to add something, subtract something, or modify something with a null value, it will be evaluated to null. This is it will be evaluated to null. So that's why you should not perform any arithmetic operators with a null value. So how to handle the null value? Whenever you have a null value, how to handle it? So that will be handled by using a function called as a NVL function. So that we will see in the third chapter how to handle the null value. So you cannot use null with any of the arithmetic operators. It will be evaluated to null, right? So that is how the null handling should be avoided whenever you're doing it. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is about which we are going to discuss is about the concatenation operator. So how to concatenate the columns. There is an operator. Concatenate means appending of the column or combining of the columns. So the concatenation operator in the SQL is double pipe symbol. What is a pipe symbol? In your keyboard, you'll find an operator called as a pipe symbol. That pipe symbol will be used to concatenate is called as a concatenation operator in the SQL. Is a concatenation operator in the SQL. So whenever let's say I want to concatenate both the first name and last name, or last name and first name. So last name comma first name, and I want to concatenate both of them. So I'm going to concatenate last name, use the concatenation operator in between, and the first name. So these are all the columns available in which table? From employees table. So when you fire this query, this will concatenate both the last name and first name, and it will display. Let me alias this name as a full name. I'm aliasing this as a full name. So you're combining both the first name and last name, and this is being displayed. Last name and first name, Abelalan, Ande Sundar, all these names. So now if you see,
can I ask you a question, Karthik? If you want to really show a legitimate full name, can you also just say concatenate in the first name and last name in between have space? You just say space.
yes,
Concatenate once. Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm just coming to that. Yes, you asked the right question. So
Okay,
if I want to provide a space between, then I have to use one more concatenation operator here and include a space between in the single quotes. So let's say I'm providing the space in between the single quotes. So now first last name and first name will be appended with a space in between. So I've included so whenever you are using a character that should be enclosed in the single quotes, whether it is a space or a special character or anything. So that's why I have enclosed that in the single quotes and then execute this query. See here now you have a space in between the first name and last name and first name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can even use comma. Suppose let's say you want to use a comma in between the first name and last name. After the last name, I want to display the comma. So you can just use even the comma instead of the space. I can just use the comma. So the comma will be displayed after the last name and the first name. Any character you can append it. Any character you can append, right? So that is how the concatenation operator will be used. And we'll also show you, let's try to retrieve the data from departments table as well. So when you go to the department table, you have a department name and the manager ID, location ID. I want to display the department name and its manager ID. I want to display the content something like this. So select, so I'm selecting the department name. Department underscore name is a column and I want to append a string called as its manager ID. Its manager ID. Its manager ID colon and space in between that and actual manager ID. Manager ID is a column. So I am aliasing this as DEPT details or something. I'll alias this as a DEPT details is nothing but department details. From which table? I'm retrieving it from the departments table. Departments table. So when you execute this, this will give you the data. Administration and its manager ID is 200. Marketing and its manager ID is 201. Purchasing and its manager ID is 114. Something like that. You can append any character. Let's say, see here, I have provided a space here. That's why there is a space after the administration. And I have provided a space here. That's why there is a space before the manager ID. Manager ID. So likewise, you can use, you can append any string in between. It's not only the space, not only the comma, you can append any string in between that. Suppose let's say if I want to append a character which is having apostrophe s, which is having a apostrophe s, in the sense when I'm displaying its manager ID, I have apostrophe s, something like this, you have something like this, and I want to display the single quote also here, then you can add one more character to it. Just add two characters, just add two single quotes wherever you want to display the apostrophe s. See here, if your string is also having a its manager ID, you have a single quote. You have a single quote which is, you want to display, whenever you want to display the single quote in the concatenated string, then you need to use two single quotes. It will be taken as a it will take that one apostrophe string what is being used, right? So, and this is also can be done by using a Q operator. Whenever you have apostrophe in the string, that can be avoided by using a Q operator, that is called as a quotation operator. Q operator or the quotation operator. Same thing, without using the double quotation mark, you can avoid this thing. So use the Q operator and enclose it in the square brackets. Enclose in the square brackets. You need not to use it, just use one single quote here, an actual single quote to be displayed, and you are closing this. So just close and then close the single quotes. Now you don't, yeah. So now whatever the apostrophe s that it is having, it will directly display it. You need not to append one more extra string or extra single quote in the string that you are using. So it will automatically display. administration and its manager ID, marketing and its manager ID, purchasing and its manager ID, human resource and its manager ID, all those things will be displayed. All those things will be displayed, right? So that is how you use you can concatenate that using the concatenation operator, right? So that's about how to handle the null values in a basic query, and how to handle the concatenation operator. And the next thing is about how to eliminate the duplicate values, how to eliminate duplicates in a column or columns, how to eliminate duplicate values in columns, how to eliminate the duplicate values in the columns. So the duplicate values can be eliminated by using a distinct operator, So how to use a distinct operator? Let me just first fetch a value. So I am fetching the department ID value, department ID from employees, department ID from employees. So when you select only the department ID, what will happen? See here, 90 is being displayed so many times, and 60 is displaying so many times, and 100 is being displayed so many times. I want to eliminate the duplicate instances. Of the data. So then I can use distinct keyword. If you use a distinct keyword, all the duplicate values in a column will be eliminated. So just execute it. Now if you see, only the 10 is appearing once, 20 is appearing once, and 90, 110 all are appearing only once. You don't have multiple instances of the same value. You can also apply the distinct on a multiple columns. Let's say I'm fetching both. You have one more column called as a job ID. Let's say I'm fetching both the columns, department underscore ID, comma, job underscore ID from employees. So when you execute this will give you the actual value. I'm not applying any duplicate. See, 90 AD underscore VP is appearing twice, and 60 IT programmer is appearing twice. I mean 4 times or 5 times, and this is appearing 5 times. So how to eliminate the duplicate values? So whenever you're applying a duplicate value, it will be whenever you're applying a distinct, it will be applied on the combination of the columns that you have selected. See here, now just execute it. So let me just sort it for a better appearance. So 1080. So see here, you have 20 mk underscore man and 20 underscore mk underscore rep. That means, it doesn't mean that it is not eliminating the duplicates in the distinct, department ID column. So if you see, the job ID is different. For these 2 columns. That's why it is being displayed. So when it is eliminating the duplicates, it will not consider only this column. It will consider all the columns data which is retrieved in the query. So whenever you are using it, distinct department ID comma job ID, so that way it will eliminate the duplicates by taking the combination of it, So that is how you also eliminate the duplicate values in a particular column. So when you are applying a distinct, it will be applied based on all the columns what you have selected, not only the single column, right? So that's how you do that. That's how you use a distinct operator. So this completes the first chapter. How to write a basic select statements. So any questions here with respect to everything what we have discussed today about arithmetic operators, concatenation, null value handling, and distinct operators? Any questions here? Okay, so the other that completes the first chapter. So you can practice all the queries, and you can come up with your questions. Like if you have anything tomorrow, and we'll discuss all the questions related to the first chapter, and we will use it. So that's about the first one, and the second one is about how to restrict the data. Second thing is about so we'll take 10 more minutes. We'll have a class for 10 more minutes, or we can just stop it for today. You can practice them, and come up with your questions so that we will discuss and then do it, right? So I hope it's fine with everyone, because other 2 or 3 people have not joined today, so that's why I'm taking for a less amount of time. So SQL basic and yeah. So
yeah, that's fine.
okay, distinct operator.
So those for like say we are already in IT, so for those kinds concepts, it's not hard for me. Just speak for myself, and easy to understand as long as we know the syntax, right? So how deep this class will go to? Do you have a little more complicated concept will introduce in